Okay, in this video we're going to be checking out another 3-inch micro frame here from AirbladeUAV. This is the Intrepid V2. It comes in three versions. There's the 3-inch Lite, 3-inch Pro, which is the one you're looking at now, and the 4-inch. And the difference between the 3-inch Lite and the 3-inch Pro, I think the only difference is that the Lite can only use the motors with the 9mm hole pattern, whereas the Pro can use either the 9mm or the 12mm type motors. And I think the Lite is a little bit less in weight. I'm not sure if it's like the arms are less thick or if the bottom plate's less thick. Check the link in the description to see which one is going to be best for you. The weight difference, I don't think it's that much. I believe it's around 3 or 4 grams. So I decided just to go with the Pro version to give me a little more flexibility if I want to use the motors with 12mm hole pattern instead of the 9mm. If you get the Lite version, then you're kind of stuck to the 11XX motors or some of the few 13 or 14 size motors that have the 9mm hole pattern. There's not a whole lot of those, so if you want more flexibility, then go with the Pro version. It only weighs about 3-4 grams more than the Lite. You can see here that the arms are, you basically have a set of arms for the front and the back, and then you have a bottom plate, top plate, and then side plates for the camera cage area. And this one here has a kind of an interesting feature where you can add these additional side plates on top of the camera cage area, so you can mount an additional camera, so you can have a dual camera setup, FPV camera, and like say a Split Mini. For those of you guys that don't like to fly through the Split Mini and want to fly through a dedicated FPV camera and don't want to add a lot of weight, we'll be showing that off as well. When I put this together, it comes with a bunch of 20mm M3 standoffs, and you get some M3 screws, get a battery strap, and this little TPU printed part here goes in the back, and this is for your AXI antenna that goes on the back standoff. So go ahead and put this together really quick. Let me just, because before I do that, I'll just show you the carbon. You know, a pretty nice carbon from AirbladeUAV. No complaints there, well cut. 3mm arm, and then the bottom plate and top plate are all 2mm thick. So this is going to be the bottom plate, and you got your 20x20 dual stack mount areas. The camera cage goes up in the front here. You got these notches for that, and I'll show you that once it's put together. And then this is the top plate, also 2mm, and then you got a slot there for your battery strap there. This is going to be a top mounted battery. So I'll go ahead and put this together real quick, and then we'll take a closer look at this. Okay, so here's the frame fully assembled. It took me actually a little bit of time here getting this front section together because it's tricky getting this standoff in here to, basically it spreads out the side plates into a notch right there. It's going to be pretty much hard for you to see that, but it's going to be right there on the side where this top plate notches into the side plate here, and that holds it in place. But because these I screwed in this standoff here first, it prevented me from spreading those side plates apart. So what you need to do is not screw in the top screw here into the standoff on both sides, and then put the standoff in here. And actually, if you don't put the screws in on these two standoffs on the front here, then you'll be able to spread these side plates apart and then get that standoff in there. I wasn't able to get that in otherwise until I did that. So then at that point, you're going to, if you're going to do the this secondary camera mount here, which is basically this plate here and this plate here, you're going to want to screw those down. But before you screw those down, once you get this side, the standoff in here, you want to screw down this top plate to this standoff here. If you try to put this screw in first, you won't be able to get that screw in. So it's a little. It took me a few times to like take things apart, put things back together. Just be aware that it's very tight in here, and these screws kind of get in the way. So you have to be mindful of the order you put the parts in. And if you're not using these additional side plates for the extra camera, then you should be able to just screw that in and then screw that in, because this extra plate's not in the way. But that's what this is for. So they have included these TPU parts to go here, and I think that's for vibration dampening. So it goes in like that, and it's going to go in on both sides, and it tends to pop out pretty easily. Doesn't really stay in too well. It's kind of loose. So they go in on the side here, and they have a little slot there for an M2 screw. That's going to go into probably, since this is the dampened part, you want to put the Split Mini up top here, and it's also going to be less likely that the props are going to be in view. And then you're going to have a longer screw that's going to go, probably going to need a washer as well. That's why it's indented like this. And they put your Split Mini in here, and that should help with Jello if you're going to go with the dual camera setup. Then they put your FPV camera here. If you don't go with this dual camera setup, you can obviously get rid of these TPU parts and this two side plates and just put your Split Mini in here. But of course, you're not going to have the advantage of the dampening. So if you want to do the dampening, I guess you just not use a dedicated FPV camera, and then just put the Split Mini up here if you want to, suppose. We'll have to see what the gel is like when this hard-mounted setup, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually not going to use the side plate dual camera setup here. I'm just going to put the Split Mini in here and when I do the build. Okay, so let me get you some measurements here. Weight first. This is with the extra dual camera setups here. It's coming in at 56.2 grams, so yeah, definitely on the hefty side. Also including this TPU part in the back here for your axis antenna. So I think that was pretty close to the Acrobat. I think that was around 61 or 62. Probably save a little bit of weight by taking these side plates off. Okay, so I took the dual camera side plates off. This is what it would look like without it, and obviously you could probably put a GoPro or something on here, like a GoPro Session. I've seen some people do that, and there's a little strap hole there, slot there for that if you want to tighten that down. But this is how much it weighs without those extra parts, so you lose about 4 grams, so it's 52.5 grams. Okay, so for the rest of the measurements, it's 150 millimeters motor to motor. It's 93 millimeters front to back and 118 millimeters side to side. So comes in as a typical H style frame. That's what you see on a lot of these sort of dual stack 3-inch frames now. And a couple more things to note here. You have your regular battery strap here if you want to put your battery lengthwise here, but you can also do the toilet tank method as well. They have strap holes here, slots going this way, so you can put your battery this way, toilet tank style, and then wrap your battery strap this way if you choose to do so. And then the last thing I want to point out is that there's this extra hole here in the arm that goes through the bottom plate on the front and in the back. Don't know what that's for, but I suppose you could put another screw in there and a nut if you want to give it a little bit extra strength, but those screws weren't included. And then of all the screws that were included, there's 4 that go in through the arm and the bottom plate into the standoff. There's 4 of those. Those are going to be a little bit longer than the rest of the screws. So the rest of the screws go elsewhere. The 4 longer ones go through the bottom plate and the arms on the bottom side here. And then there's these like little slots here for zip ties or something like that for on the arms. There's one here, and then obviously another one over here. I think that's for mounting like a Immortal T antenna or something like that under here, and then you use some zip ties or something to secure that to the arm. I think that's what that is for. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. Taking a look at the Intrepid V2 3-inch Pro. I think the 4-inch is just longer arms. I'm not 100% sure on that. It might be a little bit longer body. I don't have that frame, but if you want to do 4-inch, it's going to be pretty similar in terms of the way you put it together, and obviously it's going to be a dual stack mount as well. But yeah, I'll have it build, I don't know, pretty soon. Probably going to put some DOS 1404 motors in this one, I think. Not 100% sure yet. And yeah, I'll have another build video on this one, and then obviously a flight demo, and we'll sort of compare the build of this one to, like, say, the IH3, the Acrobat, and some of the other ones with the multi dual stack mounts for your RunCam Split Mini. Anyway guys, that's going to it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.